Welcome to Business Tech on Channel C. I'm your host, Rick Schatzman. Recently, President Obama rejected a windmill farm energy project owned by two Chinese nationals, and a congressional committee branded two giant Chinese telecom companies, Huawei and ZTE, as a threat to national security. These incidents have heightened tensions at a politically sensitive time for both countries. Today with me is Mr. Wang Wei, Chairman and founder of the China M&A Group. We're going to find out what went wrong between the two countries at the government level and why it is business as usual among companies. Thank you for joining us today, Wang Wei.
It's my pleasure.
You're in NYC to accept an award for your work in mergers and acquisitions. And why don't you tell us a little bit about the award, what you did to get here, and what your work is in general?
Okay, I'm probably the one of the first guy to introduce M&A concept in China. That's almost 20 years ago. And in the past 20 years, China, in the M&A market, basically from scratch to mainstream. Everybody talk about M&A and China, and not only China, in the whole world, find out China is one of the most M&A power right now. They buying everywhere. So that's, I think, the world is recognized China to be part of global M&A power.
And why is it now that mergers and acquisitions are becoming more popular between Chinese and American companies?
Well, China going up, and China's market is not enough for the new entrepreneur groups. There's a lot of middle class. They try to be more globalized. And the China firm become larger. They want to get upgrading their business, the brand networking. So it's very natural when the economy grew up, they had to go globalized. So it's just like 30 years ago in Japan, 20 years ago Korea. So China go the same path. So that's in the United States is one of the largest market in the world and has been long time work with China in a very good relationship. And so this is a good partner. So this is very natural. China, American has more and more cross-border M&A to be a global partner.
And what's your take on the recent news with Huawei and ZTE? Do you think this is going to slow things down? Is it a real negative?
Well, I think this is something ridiculous, but also understandable. Because, they mentioned about national interest. And what about the borrower? So much money from Chinese government, they don't mention national interest. Right? So this is ridiculous. But anyway, we understand because China is a new country. They just started to buy something. Certainly, China has a lot of things not very much to global standard, like a transparency, corporate governance, and finance way. So that need to discussion, communication, and then had to be compromised in a way. So. And Huawei and ZTE has been very, very good company in China, and they could be one of the superpower in the future. So it's understandable they have the American government and other country may have higher standard to them. So that is, I think, just like some case, and they need to further discussion and make compromise. So I don't think they will harm. Generally, the direction, I mean, the China-American M&A, and actually this is probably a good chance to let both sides understand each other better. The China company will learn more about transparency, corporate governance, something, and then foreign American government will understanding better China, how the China grew up. So you
work
think together.
You think due to the extremely large size and publicity of these two companies, that actually made things worse. In reality, it's not normally this difficult.
No, actually, talk about Huawei and ZTE. They are very American income, only under 5% of their whole whole revenue. So actually, is very symbolic, but the way. The American government treats Chinese company, well, I think this is exaggerate because maybe the politicians the timing.
Right.
Like that. So, in China side, I had the same thing. We had the same thing.
It's bad timing for both sides.
Yeah. So this is we are businessmen, so we know the business sometimes not just business. Some politician, a lot of other things, but in long term, China American is a business partner.
Do you fear that there's going to be any retaliation from the Chinese side against American companies? As a
Generally, won't, but in certain cases, might be. Certainly, I mean, there's some, many years ago when Chinese company buy American, they had some, for no reason, refused. And then China do get some retaliation. You still remember the Coca-Cola case? To buy China company, and then it doesn't work out. So this is something will happen all the time, not only in China.
Mm-hmm.
When Japanese buy American company, they have the same thing. So in the long run, it's very natural.
One concern you read a lot about, though, is corporate espionage. Not just espionage, but actually blatantly stealing technology
Yes.
and ignoring intellectual property.
Yeah.
So how do you balance out your desire for pure free trade with these fears of being stolen from?
Well, I just everything learned you can from history. 30 years ago, when the Japanese come to the United States, I think we get the same execution about Japan stealing American technology. They get the same resentment, right? Reaction. China right now too. I mean, China we learn a lot from global economy, but China do have innovation power. They do in his own way.
Mm-hmm.
So the intellectual property is not matter of China conflict with the United States. Even among China entrepreneurs, this is a big issue. So I think we noticed that the government gradually face on that in a hard way.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for.
Okay.
I'd like to thank again our guest, Mr. Wang Wei, Chairman and Founder of the China M&A Group. I'm Rick Schatzman. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.